They thought she was just a quiet woman sweeping the dusty floor outside the old bus station cafe, harmless, ordinary, invisible. But when a loud, joking Marine leaned down and asked, "Hey ma'am, what's your call sign?" the woman didn't even blink. She whispered two chilling words that made his smile collapse, his posture stiffen like he'd seen a ghost. Black Mamba. And in that moment, right there on the cracked concrete pavement, everything changed. Because Black Mamba wasn't supposed to be alive. The sun was setting behind the rust-colored mountains as buses wheezed in and out of the tiny station at Ridge County. Travelers hurried in and out of the cafe, never sparing a glance at the thin woman sweeping outside. Her faded scarf, patched clothes, and downcast eyes made her blend into the background as if she was part of the dust itself. People called her Auntie Lila, the quiet woman who washed dishes and cleaned tables without complaint. No one knew where she lived, and no one cared to ask. She was simply there. Inside the cafe, four off-duty U.S. Marines were laughing loudly, fresh from training exercises nearby. Their energy filled the room. The youngest among them, Private Dalton Hayes, famous for his humor, noticed the woman sweeping outside. "Bet she's got a cooler backstory than half the folks here," he joked. "Watch this." He stepped outside with an exaggerated swagger, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Ma'am," he said playfully, "in the Corps, we all got call signs. What's yours?" The woman didn't look up immediately. She was sweeping in slow, methodical strokes, as if each movement was calculated. Finally, she raised her eyes, dark, sharp, calm, and met his. Black Mamba. The broom froze in mid-air. Dalton Hayes felt his chest tighten. His friends inside turned toward the window, confused by his sudden stillness. A call sign like that wasn't used casually. Black Mamba was the codename of a feared intelligence operative, a ghost in classified operations overseas. Rumors said she had saved battalions, infiltrated enemy lines, vanished without a trace, and supposedly died in an operation nobody spoke about. Hayes swallowed hard. "Ma'am, that's not a joke you want to make." But the woman didn't smile. Her eyes drifted away, as if looking into a memory so heavy it could crush a soul. "I didn't make a joke, Marine," she murmured. "You asked." I answered. Inside the cafe, whispers rose. The owner, an old man with trembling hands, stepped outside. "Lila," he said softly, "maybe it's time you rested." But Hayes couldn't let it go. You can't be that Black Mamba. She saved my father's unit in Kandahar. My dad said he owed her his life." Lila lowered her broom, leaning on it gently. "Then he must have survived," she said in a voice that carried both warmth and sorrow. "I'm glad." "You're saying that was you?" Hayes pressed. Lila didn't confirm. She didn't deny. Instead, she whispered, "Some stories are better buried for the sake of everyone involved." And she walked back inside the cafe, leaving Hayes standing alone in a storm of questions. That night, the Marines stayed unusually quiet. Every time Lila passed their table, they watched her, not with ridicule, but with a strange curiosity. The way she moved. The way she listened. The way her back straightened instinctively every time a truck engine rumbled outside, like someone trained to calculate threats. She wasn't simple. She was hiding. And someone that dangerous didn't hide without a reason. 2 days later, Ridge County changed forever. It started with a roar, dark SUVs speeding into town, carrying men in tactical gear, armed but not military. People froze behind windows as the vehicles surrounded the cafe. The Marines, who happened to be inside, sprang to their feet. "Black Mamba," a voice shouted through a megaphone. "We know you're in there. Come out quietly. You stole something that belongs to us." Lila's broom clattered onto the floor. Hayes stepped toward her. "Ma'am, who are they?" Her hands trembled for the first time. "They're not government," she whispered. "They're the ones who left me for dead overseas. And now they want the data I escaped with." The Marines exchanged looks, fear mixed with respect. "So you are Black Mamba," Hayes breathed. Before she could respond, the cafe windows rattled. A flashbang detonated outside. The Marines rushed into defensive positions, flipping tables and guiding civilians out the back. Hayes grabbed Lila's arm. "Come with us," he urged. "We'll protect you." But she pulled away, her voice steady again. "No, Marine. I protect myself." She reached under a loose floorboard behind the counter and pulled out a small sealed drive, no bigger than a thumb. "This contains evidence of their war crimes," she said. "I've been hiding it for years. They finally found me." The door burst open. Armed men began to enter. In that split second, Lila changed. Her posture straightened. Her eyes sharpened. The timid, quiet woman vanished, replaced by the legendary operative whose name haunted enemies worldwide. Black Mamba. She moved with silent precision, flipping a table to block bullets, disarming the first intruder with a motion too fast for the eye to follow. The Marines covered her, shocked by her skill but following her lead instinctively. Hayes watched her fight, realizing she wasn't just a survivor, she was a protector. Within minutes, the attackers were defeated and detained. Military police arrived soon after, alerted by the Marines. As they were taken away, one whispered, "She should have stayed dead." But Black Mamba only stared back with calm defiance. When the chaos settled, Hayes approached her. "You saved all of us. Why hide here, doing dishes and sweeping floors?" She sighed, looking at the quiet mountains beyond the cafe. "When you spend years fighting darkness, you forget what peace looks like. I wanted to learn again. To be normal. To be nobody." "But you're not nobody," Hayes said. "You're a hero." She smiled gently, eyes glistening. "No. I'm just someone who did what had to be done." As the sun set again, people of Ridge County came out of hiding, staring at the woman they had overlooked for so long. Not with judgment. Not with pity. With awe. Black Mamba took a deep breath. Maybe it was time to stop running. Maybe it was time to start living again. Heroes are not always the people we celebrate. Sometimes they are the ones who quietly sweep floors, carry scars, and fight battles no one sees. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones the world ignores, until the day their truth rises.